Esteemed participants, welcome to the first panel of SAHA 2026. One of the largest and most prestigious defense, aerospace and space industry exhibitions in Turkey and Europe. We are delighted to have you with us today and honored to host such valuable speakers who are shaping the future of the industry. We wish you an inspiring and engaging panel. Our panel topic is FPV drones and new approaches in asymmetric warfare. First, I would like to invite our moderator, Senior Advisor at NATO, Retired General, Mr. Yavuz Türkgenci. Paşam hoş geldiniz.
Teşekkür ediyorum.
And now I would like to invite our panelists. First of all, I would like to invite Mr. Can Kasapoğlu, Senior Defense Analyst, Houston Institute, NATO Defense College. Welcome. Welcome. Our second panelist is Mr. Mehmet Öztekin. He is Skydagger CEO. Hoş geldiniz. And now I would like to invite Mr. Maxim Asketon, Special Forces Fiber Optic Specialist, Ukraine. And the last panelist is, I would like to invite Mr. Ihor Fedirko, CEO at Ukrainian Council of Defense Industry. Yes, sir. Stage is yours.
Good afternoon to everybody. I think everybody can hear me. Before I start with the panel, I would like to thank to SAHA. And SAHA is doing a great job in this respect. And I think we are going to get a lot of good knowledge out of this panel. Before doing this, let me give you an introduction concerning the panel. Today we are going to be talking about FPV drones and also some new approach for the asymmetric warfare in that respect. You have already known that right now we are in a transition from industrial age battlefield to digital age battlefield. And if you take a look at what's going on in the battlefield, FPV drones leading this transformation. If I may give some examples concerning FPV drones, I can point out that, for example, in Ukraine, at the same time, you may find over 15,000 FPVs or drones up in the air. This makes the digital battlefield very transparent. You cannot move around. And in addition to that, we started to see that FPV drones started to replace artillery. In addition to that, you may use FPV drones as a forward observer, kamikaze attacks, ISR, you name it. Of course, there are pros and cons, but at the end of the day, that's going to cause the transformation from industrial age to digital age. So in this respect, we are going to have, I hope, a very fruitful discussion. I plan to have more or less 1 hour discussion with our panelists. I'm going to introduce them right now. And following that, we are going to have a Q&A for 30 minutes. That's going to be up to you. If you want to prolong it, be my guest. So I'm going to cut out the questions to my panelists, and I'm going to give the floor to you for your questions. Let me introduce our panelist, Can Kasaboğlu. Maybe you have already known him. He is one of the best think tankers, globally recognized, prominent think tanker. He works for Hudson Institute, and in addition to that, right now, he is right now in NATO Defense College in Rome. And Mehmet Bey, you have already maybe known him. He is the CEO of Skydagger Company. Skydagger Company is an important FPV producer. Right now, they started to design new drones such as bullet drones or interceptors. And Maxim is a specialist on special forces. In addition to that, fiber optics. He's right from Ukraine. And also we have Ihor. Ihor is the CEO of Ukraine Council of Defense Industry. And you have already seen that we have very good panelists, so I'm not going to lose any time. Let's start. First question I would like to ask you, Can, as I have already summarized, you can see that right now the character of the warfare started to change. And if you can elaborate on that and also try to comment on the difference between nature of warfare and also character of warfare. Thank you very much. Over to you.
General Sir, big thanks to Saha for not only this defense exhibition, but also for making this defense exhibition one of the most intellectual endeavors of 21st century military affairs and defense industry. So the nature of war and the character of war and how it applies to the FPV environment and the main subject of the panel today. Let's have a time machine. Let's go to 80 years ago. At the time, Ukraine was also a battlefield. On the one hand, we had the Nazi Germany Wehrmacht marching on Eastern Europe to the gates of Russia. And on the other hand, you had the Soviet Red Army. And the battlefield was the same battlefield that we are talking about today. As to the nature of the war, it was two war machines fighting for political purposes as a continuum of politics in the Clausewitzian sense, for control of critical resources, territory, and the soldiers on both sides didn't have much choice to fight or not, because like the good old saying goes, even if you are not interested in war, the war is interested in you, so the war was interested in them. But with the same time machine, if you ask a mathematical question which pertains to the changing character of war, how many troops you needed at the time to hold 1 kilometer territory? The answer was about a battalion, 1,000 troops or more for 1 kilometer, and 1 kilometer only. Right now in Ukraine, we see that it reduced all the way down to 15 sometimes. And rest of the territory is held by the machines, FPV drones, and also other robotic components like UGVs, unmanned ground vehicles. If you go to the Black Sea Theater, if we had this conference like 10 years ago, and if I told you that Ukraine, without operating a navy, would actually annihilate 30% of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, you would call me an unrealistic think tanker, if not completely delusional. But that happened in the Black Sea right now. And Ukraine, without operating a conventional navy, just pushed the Russian Black Sea Fleet 200 miles east Novorossiysk, and still the Ukrainian robotic systems are operational in Novorossiysk. So we are seeing a transition from Homo sapiens, human being, the rock star and the one-man show of warfighting, to a battlefield that Homo sapiens is actually sharing that battlefield with smart algorithms, artificial intelligence, and robotic systems on the battleground. That is not only limited to the kinetic operations. As to decision making in battlefield, we are seeing the big heads like Palantir, for instance, like Project Maven entering the field, and Homo sapiens is not the only smart thing on the battleground right now. We have digital algorithms that are taking decisions, that are calling the shots, and sometimes they're calling really good shots, and sometimes their shots are really not at the best standards that we want. But that's the changing. If there is one word, if there's one sentence to coin the changing character of the battlefield, I would say Homo sapiens right now has to share its centuries, millennia old battlefield dominance. The nature stays as it is. You had Stalin, you had Adolf Hitler, you have Vladimir Putin, you have the continuum of the political and military connectedness of the battle space. But as to the character, we are seeing that this is not the one-man show of Homo sapiens anymore.
John, thank you very much for that. Maybe there is another issue striking some of the junior officers concerning that. As John pointed out, nature of warfare stays the same, but the character changes. If you take a look at what's going on in Ukraine, you could see that there are 5 to 15 kilometers, I underline, between two fighting parties. That's an kill zone or unmanned zone or gray zone. That changes everything concerning we have already known, or the knowledge we get during the industrial age. Now we have digital age, now all dynamics of the warfare, and in addition to that, all dimensions of the battlefield totally change. So we need to pay attention to that. I just want to summarize this. Thank you very much. Mr. Mehmet, let me ask you the current trends concerning the design and production of the FPVs. Can you elaborate and give us some insights concerning that, please?
If you don't mind, I will continue in Turkish. It will be easy for me to explain everything.
Now, you know that recently the development of drones have been driven by user demand. And in the development of these drones, and in the manufacturing of these drones, what matters is to get the feedback from the field right. Because we have seen that no matter how much advanced technology you use in these drones, they are made by engineers. And they are engineers who have experience in the field. But the end user is the military. So when we consider that, the stress, pressure, concerns in the field, also, and their competency in using that device also determine the success of these systems in the field. Because the staff that use these devices in the field, when they are using these devices, even when flying a drone, they have worries, they have concerns. So in the development of these systems, especially as Skydagger, we attach great importance to develop the system that can be the easiest to use, the simplest to use. That will not be a hurdle to the military staff in the field. And we're trying to bring down the costs so much that the costs are almost like a grenade or an artillery shot, an artillery round. So that the staff who is going to use this can use these devices well, right, and effectively. Because what matters in the end is to make these devices cost effective. The cheaper the device is, the more you can harm the opposing party financially, economically. Because today, We have systems millions of dollars in value that can be neutralized using $3,000-4,000 worth in some devices, and you see that it is very effective in the field.
For our guests coming from abroad, and what you point out concerning the simplicity of the system, I guess, is the key, because our soldiers and NCOs will be using it in the field. They are not engineers. They are plain soldiers, so that's very important. Thank you very much for that. And operational requirement is very important. Sometimes our engineers go for their fantasies, okay? Technologically, it can be very superior, but our soldiers may not be able to use it. So that's going to be a problem. Or it's not going to be it's not going to be useful. It's not going to solve any problem we face in the field. That's going to be a problem. And in addition to that, it has to be cost effective. It should not be very expensive. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Maxim,
Yeah.
welcome to Turkey again. We are very happy to have you guys here. And we have a lot of FPVs, drones in the battlefield, but they have some problems, such as electronic warfare. Can you share your thoughts concerning that, please? Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Let me keep it simple. Everybody knows it big trouble in battlefield. All countries, all armies, it's jamming. It's an important problem. It's electronic warfare, who would say. But I want to speak around optic fiber. We have local problem with shotgun and spider web guns, but optic fiber drones changes difference. I won't tell about this.
Thank you very much. Fiber optics are very important, but you may agree with me that they come also with the problem.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easy to detect the place of the pilot.
It's not easy, but every day it's solved this problem. Yes.
And what about the range of the cable? It is 10 kilometers.
Yes. I listen you. You say about kill zone. We say like this because using 15-20 kilometers kill zone. Yeah, and it's now really easy. Yeah.
Okay, and it's easy for Ukrainian armed forces.
I think for all.
Okay, thank you very much, Maxim. Ihor, right now I know that last year Ukraine produced more than 4 million drones, more or less. Right now you targeted 7 million. So how do your members cope with that? How do they design and produce it, and how do they solve some problems concerning that? Over to you, Ihor. Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, I have a few remarks, if it's possible. Yeah, because what I heard just a few minutes ago, that's all our lessons learned, all the information which you get from our battlefield line, you are starting to use it, and you are really pretty good informed. And what I heard, it's yeah, our battlefield really changed dramatically. Now our main focus, we have to replace our infantry from our trenches by our autonomous systems, so different kind of drones. If we, you see that, I hope that you saw that just 1 week ago we use our assault UGVs, ground robotic systems, against our enemies, and it was successful. So that's why we are looking forward. We are looking for a solution which can replace our infantry by our technologies and innovations. Next, what I want to add that I heard from Mr. Mahmed that it's true. All in Ukraine, all around the velocity of changing. So that's why you have to be really fast, quick, and flexible. You have to adapt your product every 2 months. That's why, it's really difficult for our manufacturers to get or to keep this velocity, to keep this speed. And the next what I heard that one of the main things, you have to get the feedback from your soldiers immediately. 100% of our manufacturers get these feedbacks not more than 3 or 4 days. Many of them have like the local crews who goes to the battlefield line, get these knowledges immediately from the battlefield line. So I think it's one of the best rules. The next is true that electronic warfare changed our battlefield line and battlefield dramatically. In the start of the war, we have a lot of problems because Russians pretty good on that sector, really pretty good. They're really technologically good. And that's why, we don't have any other choices, and we have a really high level of motivation to establish the new type of technology such as fiber optics drones, and we use them not just for FPV as well. We use it with the UGV, and we think we can apply it for UUSV, so underwater solutions. And now about the manufacturers. Thanks a lot for all of you, our partners, friends. I think that you're pretty good informed. Thanks for that. So yeah, we can produce more than 12.5 million drones, different kind of drones per year. And I totally believe that if we will have the predictable contracts and some financing, we can produce 2 times more. It's easy for us. What we can do perfectly, I think that we can scale up our production rapidly and really fast and effective. Last year, our country can procure just 35% of them. It's close to 4.5 million FPV drones. So it's, as I said before, we can produce more, 3 times more. And right now in our country works close to 1,000 private companies, 140 state-owned companies, and more than 1,200 R&D, small and startups. And all of them produce some or propose some products for our soldiers, for our defenders. But from all this quantity, 170 of them produce just the FPV drones. So it's a lot. And we have 5 companies which can produce 1 million FPV drones per year, easily. And if you will visit, and I hope that you will visit our stage here in this panel, you will see that all of 15 companies which we bring here with us produce the FPV drones. So it's like one of the main product. It's like the basis product which you have to produce to get some market in Ukraine as well. So and how we produce. A lot of companies, a lot of politicians who visit Ukraine, who visit our facilities, they say that, guys, you used a lot of handwork. Why? Because just ask some biggest companies in your country as well, how easy you can change your production line if your product will change every 3 or 2 months. It's impossible to get this money to update your manufacturing lines every 3 or 2 months. It's impossible. It will cost you a lot. And one more, what I really heard just a few minutes ago, that it's from you, Mr. Mehmet, that it's true that the cost effectiveness for Ukrainian companies and for our products is one of the main value. We can't use the Patriots, SAMT, IRIS-T, NASAMS against the Shaheds, which cost close to $100,000 by using missiles which cost from 2 until last time I know that Arabic Emirates bought the PAC-3 just for $12.5 million per one missile. It's uncomparable. Any economic system never keep it. It's impossible. That's why the cost effectiveness, the quickness, and your flexibility will give you the opportunity and possibility to work in the global market.
Thank you very much. And can you also elaborate on how housewives produce,
yeah, we love
and also how you use 3D printers?
Yeah, so housewives. It's, you know, like I really thankful for Rheinmetall because right now we are more, we have more interest into our manufacturers because he said that before. And you know what's it's really funny that the government give their apologize, the company, but not this guy. It's I don't know why, but it's true. So as well, why do we use a lot of 3D printing? Because of changing, because of the velocity of changing. We can immediately change our product immediately because the 3D printing is pretty easy. And I know that the United States, they use like the high quality 3D printing for printing some details or components when they're just, you know, somewhere in the middle of the nowhere, because it gives you the new opportunities to rise your readiness for any changes of I don't know, like environment. So I'm really proud to be the part of housekeepers.
Very much, Ihor. Let me maybe summarize again for our guests. And you can see that there is a war of technology on the ground, and sometimes 3 months, sometimes 4 months, you may use the same technology, and all of a sudden, technology will be changing continuously. That's a continuous cycle. In addition to that, Ihor pointed out something else very important: unmanned ground vehicles. When we say FPV drones, they are not only UAVs, but also we have ground unmanned systems, and they are getting more and more important in the battlefield. And it's amazing that you can produce over 12 million FPV drones. That's a lot, and that's very, very important. Thank you very much once again. Let me turn back again to John. So we can see that right now technology started to give an upper hand to the defender. And pointing this out, how FPV drones can be useful for asymmetric warfare. Please go ahead.
Thanks, John. That's a great question. Like, first of all, we should see the natural target set of FPV drones and FPV drone operations. That's immense, and I think that's really what strikes military analysts the most about drone technology. What you can hunt down, what you can prey on using an FPV drone. I know the Ukrainians very recently hit a Kamo 52 attack helicopter with an FPV drone that was few $1,000s versus millions of dollars in the battlefield. Like, it is not a platform versus platform, it is also a price tag versus price tag, which sets the sustainability of two different defense industrial paradigms. I know they hit heavy armor, I know they hit TOS-1A, heavy flamethrowers, and I know not only as to the target set, last year the Ukrainian Security Services, SBU, in cooperation with the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence, GUR, they conducted Operation Spiderweb. They infiltrated tens of FPV drones into the Russian Federation, and they targeted strategic bombers, nuclear certified strategic bombers of the Russian war machine. So an FPV dronized force is not necessarily a state-of-the-art military, it is also a militarized intelligence service. And we should rethink, I think, in the age of drones, especially FPV drones, the roles that intelligence organizations play in conventional warfighting. It is not only deciphering enigmas like we used to see in history books. Intelligence organizations, dronized intelligence organizations, are now able to conduct operations like Operation Spiderweb, which puts them at the very epicenter of warfighting. The third issue is modularity of an FPV drone. As my colleagues from both industry and also from the battleground emphasize, a baseline of an FPV drone family can turn into a relay platform, an ISR intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance platform with cams and sensors, a shepherd platform to queue targeting data to other FPV drones, and even fixed-wing motherships like drones that carry other drones, and that modularity comes in weeks, if not days. You change the combat payload, then you have something like Baba Yaga, the hexacopter of the Ukrainian military preying on heavy armor, and you change the payload like over days, then you have something to attack the adversary in the electromagnetic spectrum. That brings us to the new age of asymmetric warfare, that you do not only use FPV drones against different target sets, against in different concepts of operations like the spiderweb, but that asymmetric warfare brings about a new outlook of defense industries, design and production for that period of time. One thing to wrap it up, and also to perhaps throw a crystal ball for the discussion, the follow-on discussion with the audience. Military technology has never been a linear geometrium, a linear systematic in history. Look at the horde of Attila the Hun, for instance, and look at the army of Mehmet II the Conqueror that conquered Istanbul. If you look at the technological logistics behind those forces, which had millennia between them, the logistics is more or less the same. It is a domestication of horse, domestication of animals. It is the foundation of wheel and carts. So if you want to move something for like 1,000 kilometers or 2,000 kilometers, it was the same for these like two militaries that has hundreds of thousands of years in between. But if you look at Mehmet II's horde that conquered Istanbul and Napoleonic Grand Army, then all of a sudden you see a change in the logistics, and if you change the clock to the First World War, then you have the steam engine, combustion, and everything. We have some drastic change moments in the military history, and during those moments, the gap between haves and have-nots actually set clear winners and clear losers. Look at the conquest of the American continent, for instance. Gunpowder changed everything. The gunpowder, haves and have-nots of gunpowder changed everything. Now, I think not only in the era of asymmetric warfare, but this dronization of military affairs and dronization of defense industries is bringing us to that kind of era that we see the gap between the winners and the losers, the haves and have-nots, is widening up. So not only for the asymmetric warfare, but also for the future horizons of military geopolitics, how warfighting capabilities draw or redraw the maps, do and undo nations, and rewrite history is now on the brink. Thank you, General.
Thank you very much, Jan. Very briefly, we can conclude that technology is a force multiplier. If you can understand the technology, you can easily overcome the problems in the field, so you can also prevail in the battlefield. And in addition to that, adaptability is very important, because it's not going to be one or two times, it's going to be continuous. You should keep up adapting continuously. Thank you very much. Mehmet, over to you again. You have already explained the current trends concerning FPV design and production, but can you also elaborate on the future trends in that respect? Over to you. Thanks.
Şimdi her ülkenin
Now, every country designs certain devices in line with their needs. And depending on their mission, the weight they will carry, the active weight, and depending on the types of mission they will carry out, they are designed in some ways. And as they're being designed, the opposing party also develops a defense system or systems that can if fight or engage or flight during engagement. So when you are designing something, you also need to keep this in mind. And actually, you know, there's the Shahid 136 drone developed by Iran, and every single country is now trying to do R&D to deal with that, thinking of how to deal with that. And until a defense system can be developed to defend against that, it's the best system, because it's an unmanned system and it can carry a lot of beneficial weight, and it also has great range and flight time. It can carry out some amazing missions. As countries develop their own drones, they also need to develop their defense systems. That's very important, because when you're developing a system, you can also come under attack by similar systems. So as you're designing a system, it's very important to consider how its defense is going to be, and how it's going to avoid in terms of defense, and how it's going to attack. And as a team, we consider all of these. We draw out certain scenarios and we make our designs based on them. So if we launch this way, how can they engage us? And also we are making some improvements in the fiber optic lines. And what matters there is the distance, the range that the fiber optic you're carrying will take you, and the beneficial weight as you are carrying these. The more fiber optic line we carry and the longer we carry it for, which also depends on the weight and quality of the fiber. We use 0.25 micron, so 25 microns, 0.25 millimeters. So we have the chance to take more beneficial weight. If, like in the standard, we work with 0.45 millimeter fiber, then the weight increases drastically. And if you do that, then the payload you can use is around 1.5 kilograms per warhead. So we also considered that, and the maximum range, the maximum distance payload right now, for an average 5 kilogram warhead, we can take it 25 kilometers. This is a significant distance, and it also has a lot of aggressive force, because a 5 kilogram warhead's lethal radius is around 75 meters. So it has lethality of 140 meters in diameter. And depending on what kind of resource you use in it, our blast also increases significantly. So as we're considering the design, we both consider the ammunition and the contents of it, whether it's TNT, C4, RDX, and the pellets or edgy tungstens for the aggressive force, and the total weight and how much road we're going to take. So using the data we collect, we do our R&D, and this affects the design significantly. So the number of engines, rotors that you're going to use. There are many variables, because no matter how you design it, this is a chain mechanism, and this chain mechanism is only as strong as its weakest link. So you can use the greatest battery and the best engine, but if you use a really cheap rotor, then unfortunately it's not worth anything. So we also don't compromise on this at all, and therefore we work in a really detailed manner for each and every component to develop the best system. And I'm certain that companies that carry out this, or countries that carry out this type of R&D, do it for the same kind of system, which is actually a challenge, because the day will come, and actually we already do this with Roketsan, Aselsan, and the mechanical. We do R&D together because they will be defending when we will be attacking. So we both end up surpassing each other, and R&D will keep going continuously, never stopping. And as Igor also said, designs can also change during war continuously. Therefore, we mostly use plastic injection parts to be able to use them in thousands, to be able to manufacture thousands at once. But the point of using 3D printers is to be able to intervene quickly in changing designs and derivative designs to quickly keep working. Because when you have time, you never finalize a design. But when you're at war, the best decision is the decision you make at that moment with the experience you get from the field to achieve quick manufacturing. And God forbid, when one day we go into war, the design times will also be much shorter. We will be making decisions much more quickly. R&D will take much less time, and we will try to meet deadlines with our R&D and everything. So we're also trying to bring these to minimum levels, and we're trying to do what is necessary today.
Let me try to summarize. And you have already pointed out how we can challenge the Shahids or similar drones by using maybe interceptors or bullet drones. And in addition to that, for every design, we should be able to think countermeasurements in that respect. And your range is very good, 25 kilometers with 5 kilogram explosive. That's very impressive. And you also started to use fiber optic cables. That's very important. And as you point out, the experience of the problems faced in the battlefield must be the driver for the technology. Thank you very much, Mehmet.
Thank you.
Maxim, over to you again. And we have already discussed fiber optic cables. Can you a little bit elaborate pros and cons of using fiber optic cables? How you design it? What are the problems, and how useful it is? Over to you, Maxim.
For building fiber optics drones, it's a very hard technology, and I'm not want to now speak about this because it's really a secret. But I say about plus. We have a lot plus about fiber optic. It's no zero loss signal and very high quality video. But first, one of the important big problem, it's broken cable. And we can understand this when cables lie on the ground. They can be damaged by vehicles or animals. It's a very big problem, and they work at distance up to 50 kilometers and remain fully reliable. But we recommended running distance of up to 25 kilometers, what say Mehmet basis. And sorry. Yeah.
To continue, we can wait.
No, maybe you just ask me something.
Okay. Let me
It's better
elaborate
for
on
me,
that.
sorry.
I can see that you use fiber optics in order to overcome the electronic warfare measurements.
Yeah.
And after a point, you started to launch regular FPVs and use the fiber optic cabled FPV drones or drones as a relay. That's going to help you for the communication.
Yes, yes.
And can you a little bit elaborate on that also, how you do that? And I know that you also use UGVs in that respect also.
Yeah. And underwater drones too. But it's very simple using fly to fiber optic cables. But if it's broke, gonna go to radio and reverse. It's normal situation in battlefield. But so much armies using fiber. It's maybe 50 or 60% now in battlefield.
When I take a look at the percentage was 25%. And I can see that right now it increased.
Yeah.
It is up to 50. And that's going to cause some problems because you are going to see cables all over the place.
Yeah. It's very big problem now because maybe in future, because cables in ground, it goes to food, you know. Maybe it's finished war and sorry,
Yeah.
you understand.
But I can understand also that you use satellite communication at the same time as a backup, right? For wireless communication, radio communication, but you use Starlink at the same time.
Yeah, but okay.
Yes, but if you don't use cables,
Yeah.
or if you use cables in order to prolong the distance, and following that, you need to use Starlink in order to guide the wireless ones. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, we are currently adapting the remote control now.
exactly, which is very good.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Ihor, okay, what are the problems you face with the design and manufacture, or what are the problems your members face in that regard? Over to you.
Could I have a few remarks, please?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Khan said that, Dr. Khan say that what exactly happens with the classic weaponry which we used in Ukraine. So what happened? Right now we say that, you know, like maybe the AI never replaced the people, like totally, but the people who knows how to use the AI will replace totally the simple people. The same situation in Ukraine with the weaponry. If you use the new type of technologies, and you know, like the new type of technologies can't right now replace totally the classic weaponry, such as tanks, PVCs, mortars, etc. But if you're looking for our newest battlefield line, you will see that we are not using at all tanks. We're not using right now the PVCs, which can carry more than 12 infantry guys, because their depth zone increase dramatically, and right now it's close to 50, 60 kilometers. That's why, you know, like it's too dangerous. You can lose a lot of people. We don't use the mortars because you have to be the part of a suicide squad to bring this mortar with your ammo in distance not more than 8 kilometers and use them. And you know that the Russians and many other countries, you have this, like, or United States NTPQ, it's anti-artillery radar systems. They know exactly from which part you are shooting right now. So it's that's why we don't use the anti-tanks missile systems, because of the distance, because of the end of era of classic weaponry. Why we don't use the huge corvettes and many other ships? Because they're slow, because we can destroy them immediately, and we improve that because you never see right now any warship of Russians warship in Black Sea. And if we will see them, we will be really happy to destroy them. And it's true. Right now, for our maritime drones, it's too difficult to find the target in Black Sea. Just imagine that it's like it's the newest era comes to you, and they're more closer and closer to your border, because it's not just we establish this net spatial operation in the soil of our enemy, but the Russians as well. They touch yours, is especially European defense ecosystem, because you know that some of their drones landed in Denmark, some of them landed at the Poland, some of them landed in the Finland, etc., etc. They know how to destroy your internet infrastructure. They cut your it's not the ropes, it's like the fibers, yes, in the shell of your seas. They know how to do that. And what I want to bring to you, that yeah, maybe right now we can't replace totally the classic weaponry, but if you're looking at our newest, I think that it's one of the biggest technological war. We don't use the huge, slow systems, and this is the main message. And about the future of FPV drones, not just the FPV drones, but the drones in total. One, the main message that the future of these drones is to be the part of your military doctrine. Nobody around. Still, after 4 years of full-scale invasion of Russians to Ukraine, I don't see any changes in your military doctrines. It's too difficult, I know, because the military doctrine is the part of national security doctrine, it's the part of national strategy as well. So I know that it's the hugest work for you, but we Ukrainians and Russians, it's a pity, but it's true, they signed their new military doctrine right now. But what you will do next, I don't know, because you still can't buy these technologies because they're not into your defense strategy and inside your military doctrine as well. And I hope that it will be the future of all types of drones, to be the part of your future. And what about the problems which we faced in Ukraine? It's just the financing. It's the main problem. Give us the financing and we will destroy Russia without any problems. You know that they can hide. Our hands, our deep strikes hits their facilities, oil manufacturers around all the country. And Russia, it's a huge country. You know, it's a huge country. And it doesn't matter if it will be nearby the Ural or some really deep east, we will hit your manufacturing. This is our main message. And you know, it's just we hitting right now just their oil manufacturer because we know that they get all their money from this part of their economics. But after that, we will see the next targets as well. So we need just the financing, and the next stage for us as well, it will be the components. We want to decrease our dependency of Chinese components. It's one of the main focus for our defense industry right now. We started to localize lots of components inside our country. Right now, more than 100 companies produce some of components. The biggest manufacturers of FPV drones, they started to produce totally assembled drones from our components. We produce the electronic engines, we produce the bodies, some micro schemes, many other things. That's why, you know, like my industry looking here as well, the opportunity to get these partners for establishing the new type of technologies and the new type of products with using your deep tech technologies, with your components, which are really pretty good, and the Turkish defense industry as well. So this is, I think, for my industry, it's the main two problems right now, and I hope that we will, with our allies, we will fix it. Thank you.
if I may summarize, thank you very much for the knowledge or information concerning the kill zone. That's very important right now. And you cannot move the masses in that kill zone. You need to do that distributed movement and also distributed command and control. In addition to that, I think there are some news concerning multi-domain operation capable plutons, as you point out. Right now they started to use it, and I think it's going to be successful, so adaptability in this respect is very important. You pointed out also financing is an important issue, and also some parts coming from abroad, China or other countries, is another problem. Thank you very much, Ihor. Right now, I don't know, how are we doing? Are we doing okay? I'm going to stop here. We have right now 30 minutes, and I'm going to ask you to prepare your questions, and we are ready to answer your questions. Over to you. If you don't ask any questions, I have backup questions, and I'm going to continue to ask other questions. Over to you. Do we have the microphone with us, please? Please go ahead.
Actually, my questions to...
If you can stand up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ertürk. I'm the business development manager in Raksoft company, in Turkish company. My question is to Mr. Maxim. I'm wondering that why don't you solve the problem of fiber cables dragging on the ground for FPV fiber drones by using 2 drones? Can't you leave one drone to certain height, the weight, and with the fiber cable, of course, and then place second drone on the top of and fly in the air? Is it possible or not?
Please, go ahead, Maxim.
Ses.
I think it's impossible. It's because you not understand how much drones on the air one moment. We have so much video when maybe 1 square 1 kilometers, maybe 30 drones. Another drones. It's Baba Yaga, it's FPV, it's Mavic 3, it's Matrix, it's so much. If I show you monitor with radio signals in battlefield, maybe one village, small village, not city, you be shocked, really shocked, because we have a lot. Really a lot, and make cables. I think it's no. It's really no.
Okay, thank you very much, Maxim. Anybody else? Please go ahead, please. Mike, please.
Thank you. My name is Julian from Global Business Press. So far, we have discussed the utilization of FPV drones against military targets, in this case, Russia as a nation. But we also have the cases where the special military forces of Ukraine going deep into Russia and then targeting targets over there, far behind the front line. But my question is, if we look from the other side, there's also a chance in the future where forces utilizing FPV drones have to deal with guerrilla, have to deal with unconventional forces. Yeah. And how do you respond to that? Thank you.
Maxim, go ahead. Go ahead, Maxim. Ihor, afterwards you can step in. But Maxim, you are the first. Or Ihor, you may go, and Maxim is going to be the second.
So if I understand it totally, so it's like like I think that's one of the best parts of efforts of Russians in our side. It's the hybrid war. When they use a lot of informational systems, a lot of newsmakers, some people who put the triggers inside the heads of your people because they want to change their mind. The hybrid war, I think it's much, much worse if we compare it with the kinetic war. And because, like what happened in the east part of our country, which are bordered to the Russians, they put a lot of money and efforts to get them without any shots. And it's a pity, but it happened before. And I think that they pay right now much, much more money, soldiers and weaponry. If we compare it with the previous periods, then they pay just for the mass media and someone else just to get the brains of your people. And I think that, when and where exactly we can find the answer against this war, this is, for me, I think it is more difficult right now. Really, it's more difficult because we know that they spend a lot of money and efforts as well to destroy all our efforts in the international field. All our efforts are broken because of their propaganda, because of their money, and this is as well like the biggest problem right now. And if we could you please give me one more time, the part of your question, what exactly you want to know? I understand that you want to compare from other side, what exactly we can find against the against the what exactly?
Mike.
So what I really meant is how do the FPV drones operators and operations can deal with the guerrilla forces? Let's say for example, Russian sending special teams
Yes.
inside Ukraine, only small groups. It's hard to detect.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you guys counter that?
How we infiltrate them and to destroy them?
Yes.
First of all, if you think that Russians and we is the same people with the same meaning, with the same culture, it's myth. It's not at all. They have, first of all, the different language, which we can recognize immediately. And then when they trying to speak Ukrainians, it's so funny because we know their language, I think, perfectly, but they don't know our local language. That's how we know that this is the spy or some other people. The next one is that, all the field around the battlefield, like the villages which border to the battlefield line, they know that someone not local comes to your village. They know. And the third one is as well, just one policeman and someone ask them, and they're cover up. So we know that this is like a spies. That's how we fight against them. And the biggest problem is true that they are easily infiltrate to our soil, to our country, because of 50 people to 1 kilometer of battlefield line. It's a rich brigade. Sometimes it's not more than 5 people, not more. We don't have a lot of infantry, a lot of people to cover close to 1,200 kilometers of our battlefield line. It's impossible. It's impossible. So that's why they really easily goes through our defense line, but we know how to fight against it. And as you see, we're doing that not perfectly, not easy, but we're doing that during last 4 years. So we are effective on that. It's a problem, but it's not the biggest problem right now for us.
Okay. Maxim, are you going to add something concerning that? Okay, thank you. Please go ahead.
My name is Ahmed. I'm an engineer working in unmanned aerial system from Sudan. My question, in the context of network-centric warfare and also integrated C4 ISR, and also the importance of collaboration between all the nodes in the network, I would like to ask how we could effectively integrate FPV in this network. This is the first question, or I can say that in another word, how could we integrate FPV in the kill chain to be a part of this kill chain as a detector or as an effector? This is my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good question. You want to go ahead?
Yeah.
Ihor,
Sometimes I think that it's a. So, could we have an example? So, first of all, we have like the information system where we collect all the information from all our sensors, all our staff of air, of our staff at the ground system, robotic systems, and as well the recognition drones as well. We are like implement them inside, but FPV drones it's impossible to implement information which we get from FPV drones inside this information system because of quantity of usage. It's impossible. There are like 100,000 pieces per just 1 minute in your air space. It's impossible to know. I don't know how to cover all of them and to collect all this data. It's impossible for us right now. But our informational systems collect the information from our deep strikes, middle strikes, recognition drones, UGV drones, maritime drones, but not in the bombers as well, but not the FPV drones because it's a lot. It's huge data. What we collect right now, we have this system electronic points. It's when our troops can exchange their points to the new types of technologies or some drones, and how they get these electronic points. Their documentary bring all the materials that they are exactly target or hits the targets, that they destroy some tanks. It doesn't matter what. So they get these points and they change it to some products. And as well, that's how we know what exactly works perfectly in our battlefield line, because it's the type of gamification of the war, but it's works good in Ukraine. And so like what I can add. So as I said, FPV drones to collect and to bring all these data in some of environment informational system. Right now for us it's a problem. It's a problem. We don't have this data right now, and we don't know how to collect them because it's impossible. Thousands of them like during one moment online. I don't know how to get it.
Okay, Ihor, thank you very much. John, would you like to step in?
Sure. 3 very quick points. First, as to the kill chains, we have 3 very striking examples, not only from Ukraine, but from recent wars. One is the Second Karabakh War, the Azerbaijani forces against the Armenian occupation formations, that they use FPV, that they have started to use, and right now we are seeing repetitions of that also in Ukraine, in artillery spotter roles. That changed everything because 30, 40 years ago, remember the Russo-Chechen wars of the 1990s. these platforms, then you might have something perfect for the Gulf Arab nations, for instance, in their drone defense in a maritime theater. When it comes to the C4ISR, I think my Ukrainian colleagues just emphasized something very important. Right now, we have more data that we can process. And that's not only a phenomenal issue for the Ukrainian military. Back in 2013, the entire humanity produced more data in 1 year than it produced in the entire existence of Homo sapiens, and it is geometrically growing right now, cumulatively growing right now. We are talking about like 81 zettabytes of data. It is unrealistically high. It is really skyrocketing. That brings us to two things. First, for the first time in the world's history, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry under Mikhail Fedorov, they opened up combat data to their partners for defense cooperation, for allies and partners of Ukraine to train their AI models. I think this sets a very high bar for future defense cooperation because there are some nations, Turkey is one of them, Ukraine is one of them, that actually fight. And when you fight, you accumulate combat data, and combat data is an asset right now for training AI models. I think in the future of defense cooperation in exhibitions like this, we're gonna see deals, not for main battle tanks, not for corvettes, but for combat data to train the AI models. And second, once you have that big data, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, that wasn't something that operational. But the computational power that we have right now, and the network connectivity, and the AI models that actually process data, I see some marriages in the defense realm between nations that have accumulated combat data, like Ukraine, and between nations that can bring computational power to the table. So I think that, for instance, the last defense deal between Germany and Ukraine was a perfect example of that. On one side of the table, you have a nation bringing computational power, and the other side bringing combat data. I think that's a very good precedent for the future of defense cooperation. Thank you, sir.
Let me maybe contribute to that very fast. I mean, if you take a look at the length of the front line in Ukraine, it is, if I am not mistaken, over 1,000 kilometers. You cannot use network-centric approach in that respect concerning FPVs, but you can always use local approaches. You are going to assign area of responsibility for brigades and regiments, and they are going to have their own kill chains, and commander is going to be responsible, and they are going to be reporting to the superior command posters or commanders, and that's going to be the solution. Thank you. And please, go ahead. Mike, please. Mike.
Thank you. My name is Ertuğrul Barak from Rocksoft Company. My question to the Mr. Ihor Fedirko. You are using drones very successfully against the Russians, but as far as I know, they are also using drones against you, and it is increasing. And in the meantime, it would be turned to a production war. I guess. Right now. As far as I know, Russian production capacity is greater than you. In the future, how will you handle this situation, and how will you what would be the differentiating factor
Okay.
to you?
He wants to know how we will win.
Yeah. How will you gonna win?
So first of all, what you see right now in Ukrainian Russians war, it's like how the horizontal manufacturing lines, not the lines, but meaning of horizontal productions fights against the vertical So
Dikey ile yatay bir
Russians have
birleşme
just
var
the
bir de.
5 main types of drones
Rusların
in the
sadece
air,
5
and they
temel
update them and
drone
enhance
türü
them
var. Bunların
every
ellerinde
every
şu anda bir tek bu var. Bunlar
iterance.
var.
So what we have in Ukraine,
Ama
we
bizim
have
Ukrayna'da
a
nelerimiz var?
lot
Buna
of
bakalım.
companies
Birçok
which produce
şirketimiz
a
var.
lot of
Bu şirketlerimizin her
solutions
biri birçok
in
çözüm
different
üretiyor.
ways,
Bunların her biri
and
farklı
they have a
şekillerde çalışıyor.
really huge
Gerçekten de
oh my God,
muazzam
it's
bir
conquerors in Ukraine, inside Ukraine, so they have to fight
kapasitesi var
against each
Ukrayna
other to
içerisinde.
get
Tabii ki
this
birbirleri arasında
type
bir
of, not the
rekabet
type,
söz
but the
konusu. Bu
sector of
şirketlerin her
market,
birinin
etc.
pazar
So
içerisinde
that's how we
birbirleriyle
push
çok
them to improve and
rekabet
enhance
ederken
their
gelişmek
products.
açısından da
The Russians, they enhance their products like
itilmesi gerekiyor. Biz de bunu
literally
yapmaya
maybe
çalışıyoruz. Ama
1-2
Rusların
times per year. But
belki de
as well, like now, what we see right now, that's
Ruslarla karşılaştırdığımızda
the
aslında
Shaheds
bu
right now is
anlamda
not just the
Şahedler var mesela.
deep strike drone. Shahed right now is the
Şahed,
platform which can
derin-
carry
derin saldırı
the
aracı değil mesela.
retranslators,
Derin saldırı drone değil, sadece
some
bir
types of
platform. Bir platform
recognition,
bu. Bazı
some FPV drones on top. Some, so we use them a lot, like the platform for distance mining as well, and it is a huge problem for us. So we see how they make their progress, but as well we are progressing as well. So I think that is, they keep their manufacturers and ideology of manufacturers from post-Soviet Union's times, and they, as usually, they collect or unite all the manufacturers' facilities and infrastructure inside one huge facility. And we have thousands of them around our country, and it's for us it's not so hurtful when they're destroyed one facility, because just one manufacturers have hundreds of them around our country, and for them it's just, you know, that they destroyed a piece of something, and but when we destroy their facility, it's a huge problem. That's how we are looking on this war right now. We say that yes, we are not the bigger, but we, I think, more smarter, and we are more flexible, and we have asymmetric solutions, and that's how we are keep going, and I think that we will win. But exactly, you're 100% right, but without the help and support of our allies, it will be impossible. It's true. Thank you.
Müttefiklerimizin desteğiyle
Okay, please go ahead.
aksinin olması çok da mümkün değil diye düşünüyorum şu anda. Çünkü biz çok farklı
Mic
bir
is coming over
yaklaşımla
there.
ilerliyoruz şu anda. Mikrofon size getiriliyor şu anda. Lütfen buyurunuz.
Thank you for this insightful panel. It's amazing.
Bu bilgi
Sinan
verici
Tavşan from Nikkei Newspaper,
panel
Japan.
için çok teşekkür ederim.
I have two questions, one for the Ukrainian team and one for the
Sinan'dan
Turkish panelists. And
Ukrayna'dan destektaşlar
Japanese Terra drone
diğer
company acquired stakes of two different
Terra
interceptor drone companies in the last 1 month alone. And
çeşitli
what is the
dronlar
importance
elde
of
etti.
foreign investment to
Yabancı-
sustain your economy
yabancı,
and your
yabancı
industries?
şirketlerin, yabancı yatırımların
And how can the Japanese
ve
help?
sektörünüz devam ettirmek
This is my
açısından,
question. And for the
önemi nedir?
interceptors,
Japonya bununla
we all
ilgili
talk
olarak
about
nasıl
Shahed, so I
destek
keep
sunuyor?
wondering what is the
Şahitlerden
Turkish
bahsettik.
solution so far, Mr. Mehmet Bey or Can Bey, what we have come up in terms of interceptors, the other conventional systems, if you can enlighten us. Thank you.
Ihor, please start.
Okay, great. So first of all, I think that the Ukrainians are celebrating right now that the Germany starting to produce and to sell their products around the world. Really, we are celebrated, we salute it, and I hope that together we will establish something pretty new. Because you guys are really good on the deep tech technologies. So about the investments. In the 2022, we get just $1.2 million investments into our defense industry. In 2025, we stopped in the $150 million, and our forecast or prediction to 2026 is close to the $500 million will come in directly into our manufacturers like the investment. And
üretim alanlarımıza yönlendirebiliyoruz.
you know that the oh my god, this huge Japanese company
Yani şöyle bir
comes
şey
to
de var.
Ukraine and they work with data.
Büyük bir adını hatırlayamadım tam şu
It's not
anda
a
ama
volunteer,
Japon
it's from
büyük
United
bir
States, but
Japon
another one. So,
şirketi
sorry, but I
Ukrayna'ya
forgot
geldi
it.
ve bize
And
yatırım yaptığı bir üretim
Japanese
için.
is well really active in
Japonlar
our
gerçekten de
demining
bizim,
section, so they help us a lot, and they have a really nice solutions in this sector as well. It's dual use sector,
taraf
but
aslında.
we think
Gerçekten
that
de bu anlamda
you start
iyi katkıları olabiliyor.
to be more aggressive in good kind. That's aggressive in our country. That you
Tabii ki.
want to be the part
Diğer
of these
yandan,
movements. You want to be
Japonya'nın
the good partner for
iyi
our
bir
defense industry. You are looking
bizim
for the partnership.
savunma sistemimiz
As
açısından
well
da
for
iyi bir
us,
şirket,
we are
iyi
really
bir
surprised that you with the
destekleyici taraf olmak
Korean
istemesini anlıyoruz. Bu anlamda da var
starting to
olmasını da
be
isteriz.
one of the
Ukraynalılar
main
da
players
hala
in
hazırda
your region,
bölgenizde
and
de
you are
önemli
right now
aktörlerden
for
birisi olmaya
us.
başlıyor.
You're
Şu anda
our
sizlerin
main
varlığı,
allies, like democracy
varlığınız bizim için
allies
önem arz ediyor.
in your region. So it's like deep east.
Demokrasi, müttefiki olmanız bizim için
So
gerçekten sizin
you know,
bölgeniz
like
açısından
how it help us first of all.
bizim için önemli. Yani demek istediğim şey şöyle.
First of all, it's you know, like it's
İlk
impossible
olarak
to be
dediğiniz
the
gibi,
equal partner for somebody abroad without these. I don't know how to call it.
Nasıl anlatırım
Without
bilmiyorum
this
ama
understanding that you are the good
şu an
partner, that
sizin,
your
iyi bir
investor
partner
funds,
olduğunuzu anlayışıyla,
venture funds invest
hareket
into your
etmesi,
defense industry.
etmesi,
That you are,
iyi bir partner olarak
you know, you
tarafın
pass all
sizin
these
karşınıza
exam,
geçip,
all
sizin
these
yatırımlar
due
yapması
diligence,
gerçekten
all
de
these
önemli.
processes,
Sizin
that
bu
you are
şekilde
a right
hareket
partner.
etmeniz
And
ve
to
tüm
be
bu
a right partner in
hassasiyetlerle
defense
birlikte
industry,
yaklaşmanız bizim için de
it's I
önemli
think it's
gerçekten
many
de.
times
Sizin gibi önemli
harder
partnerlerle uygun
if we
doğru
compare
partnerleri bulmak,
if
savunma
we
sektöründe
can
gerçekten
compare
çok
it with
zor.
the
Bunu diğer
dual use technology,
taraflarla,
so something you know like civilian technology.
karşılaşmamız çok da
So
mümkün
that's
değil. O
why,
anlamda
as Dr. Khan said that
Sayın Doktor Can'ın
these joint
söylediği
venture
gibi
which we
bu
established with the
ortak
Germans, and we
girişimler,
signed
tabii ki
12 joint
Almanya ile
ventures with the
birlikte,
German, 12.
girişimimiz bu ortak
It will be just the first step for
çalışmalar.
us
Bizim için sadece
to be
ilk adım.
the equal partner and to be the partner for the joint defense industry of Europe, of democracy as well
içerisinde
in
eşit
total.
düzlemde yer alan
And
bir partner
Japan,
olmamız açısından
the part of that.
bu bizim için
And
çok
we are
önemli. Ve
really,
Japonya da
you
bizim
know,
bu tarz yatırımlarda
happy
bulunuyor.
to
Bizim
see
için
that you
önemli
are
bir partner.
right now the
Sizler
part of the defense
sizin
industry
bizim,
of democracy world. You're starting to produce, you're starting to sell your product, you start to make this partnership. And for us, it's the next steps, and I think that we will bring our companies into your country in the nearest future.
Ve işbirliğinde giderek artmasını umuyoruz.
Okay,
sizlerle
Mehmet Bey,
birlikte.
thank you.
What was your second question about the interceptor drones?
Turkish solution for interceptors.
What is the Turkish solution for Shahids? I mean, those interceptors, if there are other conventional systems, F-16s or whatever, if you can just line up what we have so far. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, the Ukrainian guys are using the Sting drone, the Wild Hornet.
Exactly.
So they are not using it actually for the interceptor, because interception means to meet in one point on the sky. So you should calculate the route of the target drone. After that, you should give the correct controls to the interceptor drones to meet with it on the aiming point of the target drone. So it means interception. Now they are using it like follower drones. They capture the target from the radar system. After that, they start to chase it from backside. But they know that the target drone is continue to its target. So you are keeping going with the same target together. If you have enough speed to catch him, you can damage it. Now we are working with some Turkish defense companies to integrate our interceptor drone, hunter drone, to get the real data at the same time, the position of the target. After that, we will give the position to our hunter drone. to go that point.
Arkasına hunt
If we finish it, it takes time. Now we started working it manually, so we are giving vectors to the pilot. The target is left side or right side, or you should go up 10 meter, go 5 meter, and you will keep it on the terminal phase, like the camera. We capture the video with 1 pixel enough. We capture the target and we continue to target to hit it. It's now our chance, and we are developing it also. But on the final, it will be automatically, will keep the position of the target, then continue to make the interception.
önlemeye devam edecek.
Can, would you like that?
Very briefly, Shahid is not on the name of a weapon system. It is a mathematical model and a defense economics model. Imagine that I have a bulletproof vest on me, kurşun geçirmez dedi. And you got one of my favorites, like Ruger Super Alaskan 44 Magnum revolver. You got 6 bullets, and I got a bulletproof vest. And you are shooting at me. And imagine that my bulletproof vest is stopping 5 bullets out of your 6. Mathematically speaking, I have 83% interception rate. Medically, I'm dead. I have a ruptured lung, if not a ruptured heart. In Ukraine, like I had 3 field tours in Ukraine. I was exposed to Shahid drones myself. The Ukrainian interception rate has never been below 80% against Shahids. If you look at the weekly reports by the Ukrainian Air Force, and you can do it right now on Telegram or X, you can see that the interception rates are really high. But if you go to the website of Ukrenergo, the state-owned energy company of Ukraine, they are dealing with the remaining 10%. In an ideal world, beautiful world of 90% interception, you see 10% breach of Shahid salvos is causing outages across the entire nation, and we are talking about the largest nation of Europe. I cannot imagine like smaller NATO nations being exposed to that. So the Shahid drone has introduced something to the battlefield that's so cheap and so expendable that 90% interception rates are not enough to save your critical energy grid from the coming salvos. And it brings us to a second problem. Hitting a Shahid, intercepting a Shahid is not hard. You can do that. But if you are using an AMRAAM, for instance, beyond visual range aerial missile, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to intercept something that's no more than $20,000 is not Polish airspace. So these are Gerbera drones, they are Shahid decoys, and they cost no more than $10,000 a piece. F-35's flight hour, empty flight hour, like taking off an F-35, flying it for 1 hour and then coming back to the base is more than like $40,000. So NATO Secretary General was bragging about our interception rates. The strike package itself was no more than $200,000. NATO spent millions of dollars to intercept them. How long you can keep it? 1 week, 2 weeks? What about the production pipelines? So unless you are intercepting Shahids with something that is cheaper than the Shahid drone itself, and yet you can produce en masse more than the threat origin itself, the attacker side, the offensive part is winning this. Then lastly, it brings us to the character of drone warfare and missile warfare. It's an offense-dominant regime. They keep punching, you keep dodging. They keep punching, you keep parrying. Eventually, 1 or 2 lucky shots will hit. And one of those lucky shots hit Qatar, for instance. It took out 17% of the LNG production capacity, with something costing no more than $50,000. Okay? Now, the last question about Shahid is not about how to intercept them. can you fight back? If necessary, preventively. Can you detect Shahid launch sites and hit them preventively before they launch the drones? I think that's the key question, because drone warfare, in essence, is an offense-dominant regime. Drone defense, air defense, missile defense, they are designed for giving the offensive weapon systems windows to counterattack or preventively attack. We see this calculus in Iran. We see this calculus in the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The offensive party has the absolute upper hand, even with very high interception rates. So this is a defense economics model and a military mathematical model. This is more than a drone.
Okay, I guess we may conclude, but before we conclude, when we talk about interceptors, interceptors are not alone. You need to come up with a COP, Common Operation Picture. Second, command and control, communication, and interceptors. You need to set up a system. Interceptors will not be alone or will not be enough. And it has to be adaptive, because it's going to, for example, the speed of the Shahid will be changing continuously. So you cannot always calculate the trajectory properly, because they are going to be changing. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. I think we can conclude. And thank you very much for your contribution. I think that was a very nice panel. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you to our distinguished guests and our moderator. Thank you so much. You share all your experience, all your knowledge, and it was very valuable contribution. Thank you so much. Could you please give a big and warm applause for them? You are so kind. Thank you so much. Now, to remark this special day, we have small tokens of appreciation for them. I would like to invite Mr. Uça to the stage to present the gifts. Mr. Levent Kerim Uça is the General Secretary of the SAHA. Yerleri. Getir. Türkçeyi alayım.
Evet. Maxim. Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Çok sağ olun. Evet, sir. Thank you very much.
Now, please, yes, we need a family photo. Yes, our dear guests, thank you so much to join us. We wish you an inspiring and engaging exhibition during all the SAHA. Thank you so much.